So the way I would like to define global mindset in a relatively simple way is that if I have a global mindset, then I am making my decision with a wide range of stakeholders and the environment in mind. And when I say wide-ranging, I mean physically, geographically as well. So every time I make a decision, I'm considering, if I do this, if my team does this, if my organization does this, what is going to be the consequence, not just for me, for us, but for the globe, essentially.
Number one is first, you walk the talk, you role model. You learn all the different components, you see Dr. Susanna, tips, differences. Role model, and then people will remember you when you leave, and they remember your legacy that you left behind. Your teams always remember. In terms of tips, I'll still go back to awareness. Second is, I think you need to also assert yourself, right? Especially when we come from a culture where we value harmony. We don't want to upset people, but I think you need to be assertive also. Assertiveness is not equal to aggressiveness. And I think that's the mistake we always make. We think that when we talk, we challenge, we're aggressive. No, assertiveness is such. It's not just, this is seals your point, right? It's not just about people understanding you. You also need to make people understand who you are, how you think. That's why you assert. The third is being non-judging. And that's so important component of cultural intelligence, right? And John Kabat-Zinn, he talks about the 9 attitudes of mindfulness, and I think non-judging comes into play here, really.
One is learn and understand the context. To me, there is always a context. And how you understand context is, a picture will look different when the frame, you put on a different frame. Yeah, you heard of that? So context, I say this almost every week to my team, that context makes your understanding of the situation differently. Yeah? So that's number one, context. Number two is be the leader. And I don't mean the official leader, you need to have a tag by your organization. Bring that leader in you and lead. And that means that third, you need to be confident. Don't be shy, don't think, I'm Singaporean, cannot. No. And to be confident, I always tell this to my children, speak proper English, everyone. Yeah? Speak proper English, and we need to know when to use the Singapore accent and when not to use the Singapore accent.
Awareness is really key. So whether that comes from being a really good role model, or whether that comes from understanding that, two heads are better than one. So if you can engage and be a really good leader that is inclusive in the way that you lead, you're always going to have a much more impactful organization. I think two, measurement is really key, right? So people have always said to me, the organization that I work with now is the most revenue focused one that I've ever worked in. And I always think, well, actually, if numbers are important to you, and we are a data company, how can we quantify transition and, attrition and thinking about performance? And so I lead that back into everything that we do is really quantifiable, because that's what the company wants. So I can quantify cultural intelligence in some ways. And then I think the third is really about respect. So giving respect, but also receiving respect in most situations. And I think, I always think, similar to what Susanna was saying, if you believe the good in people and that they're ignorant, not arrogant, I really like that saying, because it's true. Like if you say, well, what actually, are you okay? Or like, let's talk about that. Or you scheduled a meeting at 12 o'clock my time. I'm okay to do this once, but I'm not okay to do this if it comes into my time. People are generally much more accommodating than you realize as well. But I think impact and being able to measure stuff is really important.